Live from DSN Studios, welcome to the final regular season edition of the Doug Les Report. I'm your host, Bobby Moravia, with Max Sutton.
Here we go. Now it all came together.
And then there was 6.
That's right. We didn't know how it would happen. There was many different scenarios, and boy, was it an interesting week.
And Max, it was, we always talked about how bizarre this regular season was, and really it came down to the fun. The only thing we knew for sure coming into this Sunday was that the Beastie Boys were eliminated.
They were out, and I know that NWO, my team, had a bye.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 guarantees going into the day.
Right. So basically, we got to start off right off the bat. I mean, Al Davis into the week, really a game up on
2 with, we've been talking very, very high praise about him, not just us, opponents that have played them the last 2 weeks. We're talking high praise.
Granted, they were without Billy Miz, which was a big loss, but
I heard it was a big loss going in.
But they played the Fake News, which was missing Henry Shallum, David Richty, and much improved Teddy Ashkenazi.
Wow, so that's 2 big bats and a big utility man.
Yeah, so they played with 9, and you would think they would be able to muster up a victory.
Right.
Worst case scenario, a playing game.
So AB Saka's Fake News team did have something to play for. I'm not going to say not much, but their odds of getting a bye weren't high, but the only way they could is if they got a sweep.
Yeah, they got some help. Yeah,
they needed a little help, which they did not get.
Yeah, I really don't think they came in expecting a sweep.
Right. So well, again, they're playing with 9.
Right. And the other team was fighting for their lives.
Go figure, by the way, the stat that you came up with a couple of weeks ago only got better. The team playing with 9 not only didn't get swept, we're going to talk about it now, they actually won 2 games. So teams playing with 9 this year, the record is over 500.
But Al Davis out of the gates and took a 5-0 lead early.
5-0 early lead. Eddie Richty and company, you could say now.
And they were hitting, and AB Saka said these guys were hitting the ball hard. I mean,
okay, up 4-5-0, meaning not many errors. Who took center field for AB Saka's crew? Was that Teddy Braha?
Teddy Braha was in center.
And Roditi, I'm assuming, was in left, and they probably put Ralph Matute in right?
Actually, you know something? When I got there, Ralph Matute was actually at shortstop one
Really?
day. Yeah.
Interesting.
No. When I got there, Salim was at short, so they must have had
They kept Zach in the outfield, maybe?
So Zach in the outfield.
By having multiple players that could do many things, they give you those maneuverability, because we know Zach could play a great shortstop as well. Either way, like you mentioned, they were up 5-0.
Yeah, you would think really they're
5-0 in rolling.
Yeah,
you win 1, they guaranteed themselves a play-in game. Up 5-0, you got to imagine AB Saka's team is playing loose, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I heard they chipped away.
They chipped away little by little. I believe they got 5-1, 5-2, maybe even 5-3. Then I believe in the 5th or probably the 5th inning,
opened up.
6th, they scored 6 runs. So now speaking to members of Al Davis, apparently the 4-man outfield did not really perform up to par.
The question is, was it a lot of line drives up the middle, or just the outfield folded?
It was a combination of the things. I guess some of the outfield were not used to being in that spot, and
Then you could say that the loss of Billy Miz really could have weighed large, too much, because they had Ike Mavora playing manning one side and Billy Miz manning the other. Now you're playing 4-3 inexperienced. That could hurt. Maybe they throw the wrong base.
Right.
They're not running in after the ball. Again, I always say I'm not against the 4 outfield idea. In concept, it looked really cool. It looked sexy the way this team was doing it. But I think for good reason, it's usually not done.
Yeah.
I think usually it's hard. I like the concept of playing 4 on certain hitters.
Right.
When you have a league, it's funny, our league, we don't have as many crazy bona fide, amazing power hitters. It's, that's why we have one. It's gap hitters, guys that hit line drives up the middle, which is why you have that extra.
Well, when you play with no fences, really, you got to have speed and be able to get
so guys learn. If I hit it high and far, you're going to go track it down. There is something about playing 4 that you hold back a double. But like you mentioned, I like it when you have a guy like Albert Gamal when he was playing, Stephen Safdie, Alan Marshall in a big spot, Jack Abadi maybe. But again, you don't do it to Jack so fast.
Right.
They'll go up the middle and it'll turn a double into it.
Now, there's even talk of maybe putting Ali back in the outfield.
Interesting.
Because now that Eddie Richie, they could have.
Right, you could have put Eddie at short.
But Ali did not want to leave because if I go in the outfield, I only get 3 guys. You know,
right. So that it's almost, I'm not going to say an egotistic thing, but he knows he's a real center fielder and he wants to cover a lot of ground. I understand.
Which made sense. But I think it seemed to be a big problem. So they actually got it. It was 9-5. They got it down to 9-8.
So they were up 5-0, going down 9-5.
Right. They actually made 9-8, I think, in the 6th, and I think they had runner on 3rd. Or 2nd and 3rd or whatever, and they got out at the inning.
Wow!
And then in the 7th,
so the potential winning run was in scoring position. I don't know who was up, but I did hear that.
Yeah, they were.
So now
updates.
They cannot. Now I'm sure just on the other field they had their runner run down to the other field and find out what was going down, and we heard that the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll get to the game, but did win that first game.
Yeah, they won the game. So, and, by the way, I think Max Shadid actually pitched both games.
I heard he struck out a couple of guys. I heard his riser was going in, which is good. I mean, maybe a little late this year, but you know what?
You know, maybe I did. He was anticipating coming back in June, and in June. So
it's June now. It's actually early June. I mean, he's ready for playing in these night leagues, stuff like that. And for the next year, I guess we'll see how he pitches throughout the summer to see where his stock goes. Draft-wise, but again, he pitched really well, but lost.
Right.
And
actually, it was a close game, I believe.
To the
3-2 or 5th or 6th, like that, and then they blew it open.
They opened it up. We'll talk about that. But in general, when you're Al Davis and you hear that, I don't want to say the door is closing, but it's starting.
He started feeling the heat a little bit.
Now, did David Gindy leave?
No, he stayed. He stayed for both games.
So that wasn't an issue. Again. Gindy
didn't have to leave till about 12:30.
So it worked out well. Then we started a little early, so no issues. So that now all this means is Al Davis guarantees another game to play if they win game 2.
Yeah. So now they're really fighting for their lives now.
Pressure is on.
Knowing really the Beastie Boys had. First of all, I want to get to the Beastie Boys.
We'll get to that
in a second, but
power to them.
Really, the truth of the matter is. I mean, I couldn't believe this. The first inning, they scored 8 runs.
Ouch. I'm sure, when there's 8 runs scored in YMSL softball, it's a mix of everything.
You don't really see that too often.
There's errors. I'm sure there's hits. I'm sure there's a walk or 2. I'm sure there's a bad throw. I'm sure there's a great double. It's just 8 runs is a lot of runs in our league to score in 1 inning.
And on top of the first, I mean, we've talked about it in the past. When you lose a tough game, it's
that hangover.
And
and when the pressure's on, we kept reiterating over the last few weeks, giving credit to the veterans.
Right.
Ali Marshall, Ike Mavora, Eddie Michon. But you know what? Maybe the pressure to the young guys in a spot like this showed, because they do have, as much as they had those 3 veterans, there is a nice group of young players, some rookies that have never been in this league.
Yeah.
It could be they folded. I'm not sure exactly how. I didn't see it. But it could be that they got a little, the shining lights in the big moment maybe got to them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, those guys will definitely get better in
of course.
the coming years.
Experience makes you better. Simple as that. You get thrown into the fire, you just get better. That's how it works.
Right.
So
big props to Ike Mavora. I mean, they chipped away. It was a high-scoring affair. It ended up being 15-12.
So now,
but I don't think they were really.
Both sides gave up a lot of runs. A.B. Sackett didn't have his greatest of days.
He got hit hard.
And David Gindy didn't have his greatest of days. No. So it was an offensive day. Maybe the wind, I know it was a little hotter. Maybe the wind was blowing out.
Oh, it was a brutally hot 95 degrees.
Yeah, so sometimes on certain fields that helps the ball carry, and it's not as easy in the infield.
And it was no rain, so the infield was hard.
Infield is fast. When you have a fast infield, that could create some of these football scoring games. Right. But again, you mentioned props to Ike Mavora. I heard
7 for 8
from A.B. Saka.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it straight, from A.B. Saka himself. Called me up and said I couldn't get Ike out. It wasn't a 7 for 8 with ground ball overthrows. Yeah. He came to play, and it wasn't enough. And I feel terrible, but he laid it all out. I don't know if I could say the same about the rest of that team. I'm not calling out anybody particular.
Yeah.
But when you're up 5-0 and you don't hold the lead, and then you go into that next game and you go down 8-0, it's props to the other team. You always got to give credit to the other side, but you got to look yourself in the mirror sometimes too.
Yeah, no, it's just it was really it was shocking to me. We both.
I thought they were going to make it. I thought they were going to make it.
Either win one or you know.
Well, I thought a playing game. That's how I thought it was going to happen, and I didn't predict the playing game.
Right.
Who was going to win it?
So so they got swept. So now let's shoot over 100 yards the other way.
Right. They need a lot of help. I'm sure there's. Yeah, they need a lot of help.
Listen, they needed to sweep, and they either need a split or sweep by Al Davis.
So now the Toronto Blue Jays still needed one more win to solidify. Am I correct or am I wrong? No, they already won one. So
after the first game, they won the first game. Going into the game, they needed to.
Right, nobody knew what game 2 was going to be on the Al Davis.
Right.
So now, as you mentioned, Maxi D pitched great. The highlight play that many people talked to me about. Well, first, I know Bobby wanted to mention a big
shout out to first of all to the Beastie Boys.
Correct. You have to give a lot of credit to Jack.
The whole team showed up except for Saul Ancona, who wasn't coming anyway because he was away on the trip. So he, Marty Jamal, sitting in 95-degree weather.
God bless him. Yes, I heard he came with a suit and tie this week.
Yeah.
And Jack Jamal got all his troops.
All guys
on time.
Joe Chira and Eshko, they were battling and fighting.
So you got to give. You know what? We love the game of softball.
Yeah.
You could be bitter.
Yeah.
You could be very bitter. 95 degrees. Your wife could be moaning. The game doesn't mean much. Let's go to the beach.
Right.
These guys all showed up, and that shows they care for the league, and it shows big credit to the team. I give big credit to Jack and Marty.
I mean, they either care for the league or they care to knock out Maurice Haber. One or the other, whatever it was, they were there.
Mix of both, whatever it is. But
so
they did come to play, and they were well played.
Very, very well played. You got to give the tip of your hat to Jeffrey Saka.
Okay, so I heard, and everybody was telling me, bases loaded, nobody out in a 2-0 game. Max Hadid, again.
Was batted?
He was batting.
Yeah.
Not noted in the YMSL to have a big bat.
Yeah.
I know in other leagues he has hit, but maybe he just doesn't get his opportunity. And he is coming back from injury, maybe not so ready at the plate. I heard Jeffrey snapped a 1-2 curveball and just froze Max. And Max told me straight, I'm not even arguing. That ball, I thought it was going to hit me, and it came over the inside part of the plate.
Saka struck out all his whole repertoire.
Yeah, he really came out with that little sidearm action that people say is maybe illegal, not illegal, whatever. A lot of stuff in these leagues happen like that. But then big strikeout. Marcus Adjemi stepped to the plate, who's been swinging a cute bat over the last
third base, actually.
Playing third. He's he got some good playing time this year. Whole play.
Oh, wow.
So when Jeffrey gets out of a jam like that, I'm sure.
Oh, that team was pumped.
That team was pumped. I mean, there was a couple of, a lot of fist pumping, and they came to the sideline knowing what was going on the other field. They just felt a good vibe.
Another guy who played spectacular, and we've been waiting all year for this, was John Elliott.
Oh, there we go.
On both ends. Phenomenal defensively.
Great defensively. That's beautiful to hear.
Yeah, just in time to get married.
That's right. Just in time to go to Israel. There might be a tournament in Israel he could play at. Is he going to be here next week?
Yeah, he'll be here next week.
So we'll be here for the first round of the playoffs. So that won't factor into what we'll get to people's choice of opponent.
Right. So you got to give you credit. So Saka, 2 brilliant games in the heat, and they came away with the sweep and
clinched a playoff berth.
And I mean, we don't want to talk about it too much, but it's unbelievable. Mavor got knocked out again.
I feel bad. It's uncanny. And when you see a guy, when you see a gentleman come out and lay it all out of the line and probably on this given week be the best player on the field, that's just uncanny. I feel terrible, and he's going to be there. Yeah. I know in the future he's going to be in the World Series and he's going to win it.
Well, there's been a lot of talk that he might be calling it a career in the YMSL.
No, I doubt that. I don't see that.
But if he did, at least he went out with a bang, 7 for 8.
That's true.
We'll
exactly. Everybody knows he played well.
But so it's.
Do all you can ask for.
Yeah,
there's nothing else.
He can't be blamed for this one. So that's certainly the case. So now, really, for the truth for that team, I mean, really, it started right after the draft with Dean's injury.
It's funny.
I think it just
as much as we said it was a bizarre year with who made it, who didn't make it. when they were 0-6, we all called them not to make it. We didn't think they'd
even have a shot to get back.
Right. We didn't think that Eddie Rishti changing of the field and the 4 outfielders, they had some action going down, but at the end of the day, it was the inevitable in a way.
Right.
It seemed as though.
It was just too many.
Now, the Beastie Boys, again, I think they flopped on their trade. I mean, it was a gamble, and I think it was too large of a gamble. That's all. I think it was the gamble, the upside.
Yeah, it was in theory, it sounded good, but it was more like a pipe dream.
Correct. Anything. He was hoping to get a second-round Max Yedid and Ralph Hannon being very happy and playing in a different position.
Yeah, Ralph was never happy from the beginning.
Exactly, and that's a problem, and I don't blame him. And he was a trooper, man. He came.
And he did have an outstanding offensive
view. Oh, my gosh. He killed the ball.
Right.
So, for a gentleman who has a chance to complain, he was a good trooper, and he was a big reason why his team put up any offense.
Right.
So it was, their team was okay, and like we kept mentioning, it wasn't a good chemistry.
Just a rough year. 2-12 is not.
It's ugly.
That's it. But the Jamals have been there before, so you
can't feel that bad.
Yeah,
they've been there. They know how it feels to win. They know how the playoffs feel, and a lot of players on their team have been there.
Right.
So it wasn't a good mesh. Some of their great players had very bad weeks.
Yeah, and honestly, they lost a lot of tough games also.
They did. They lost some tough
ones. They could have been either way. But,
But, like, when your all-star players don't have good weeks at all. Usually they have the great weeks, and then they're middle of the road.
Right.
Some of them had bad weeks. One guy showed up inebriated, and that was a very bad week. And another guy didn't show one week. Yeah. And then they had the trade with Parker. It just was a bad
it was a bad
year.
It was a bad mix.
Sayonara, whether you're going to be on the golf course or watching us in the playoffs. Better luck next year. I hope to play with some of you guys because a lot of great ball players on both those squads.
Yeah, both ironically, we had 2 teams that had black jerseys, and those are 2 teams got eliminated.
Really, I had some black jerseys.
Something to note going forward.
I'm happy I didn't get the black at the end. I did request.
So let's shoot over now to the other side of town for Memorial 3, which will do your matchup here. We had NWO.
Right, so
I'm sorry. It was relocated.
Right. We ended up going to Meadowbrook, which was actually gorgeous.
Yeah.
We had to move from Memorial 1. It was fine. It was early.
Yeah.
And Meadowbrook was in great shape. We measured the bases. We got the game started a little bit later, but no harm, no foul.
I always one of the nice fields.
Yeah, that field is nice.
Can't get it
and we had, by the way, big credit to both umpires.
Yeah.
Ronnie Burns and the other gentleman, I don't remember his name, but they could not have been more easygoing. It was great. So, and they called a great game.
Big trooper. But so now this is a huge matchup on paper, just because it gives a lot of people saying it's a potential World Series matchup.
It could be.
So you had Navy coming in at 10-2, and the NWO organization against AB Cohen at 9-3.
9-3. So we were fighting. Well, AB Cohen and Lee Zakari and their bunch was fighting for a bye.
Right.
If they got swept, it turns out the way everything panned out, if they would have gotten swept, if they didn't take care of business, they would have lost the bye. So it turns out they had to come get one win. One win ensured them a bye. Game 1, just to give you a rundown.
That was the first score I got, I was shocked.
Yeah, so game 1, I am playing shorthanded game 1. Elliot Saka for Ashilema is on his road to recovery. He's got his stitches coming out very soon. Hopefully he'll be ready for the semifinals. It looks okay. And we were missing Victor Duet game 1. He was in attendance, and he was there, but he was nursing a sore hamstring. So in my call, I sat him down. He wanted to play. I said, you know what, Vic, we'll get you for game 2. I don't want you. It's 95 degrees.
Right.
We have the bye. I want you ready for the playoffs 100%. I don't know how happy he was about it, waking up early, and I didn't even have him in the lineup in game 1. But that's my choice. It did come back to hurt us, because our defense was very different, and 2 players, whatever.
So who played second?
We had Ike Bitesh.
Oh, Ike Bitesh.
My nephew, Ike. It was his first inning in his lifetime, his first inning ever seeing the field. And he saw the field. They tested him at second base. They came at him, and they came at him often. And they put up, not just, again, the team hit. It was hits as well. And they put up a 5 spot, I think, in the first inning. I think it was a 5, maybe 6 even. And we went down 5 or 6-0.
Oh, wow.
And that was really the game. We ended up changing up the field as the game went on. AB Cohen He threw a lot of changeups, and by design, he pitched great. I'm not gonna say he didn't pitch good. He's a great pitcher. He's a veteran. He's savvy. He's got some heat when he wants it, but he worked with his changeup for the most part. Right. He had that I don't know, like little like Greg Maddux type of item, not working with his heat, and he got a lot of lunging bats, a lot of deep fly balls. I think Jackie Towell must have had 10 putouts. We did hit 4 or 5 rips of line drives, and they were caught right at guys. Joey Cohen had 2 or 3 line drives, hit 100 miles an hour at him at third base. In fact, there was one play that was memorable. Joey almost lost his teeth. A hard line drive went off of Joey's glove into his mouth.
Wow.
Went up 10 feet, and Jamie Dweck caught it barehanded at shortstop.
That's what he got it further?
No, it was in the air, never hit the ground.
Oh, wow.
I was coaching third. I was scared for Joey Cohen because that ball, I don't remember whose bat it went off. It might have been Mo Mallow or Albert Zolta. It was roped. And he went down for the count. He got up, and Joey's a trooper, man. He played great. He had a great offensive day. I don't know what his numbers were, but I know the hits that he got were big. With runners on base, Joey Cohen came up, right field, vintage, what Joey likes to do, line drives to right, got some big hits.
One of the bright young stars in the league.
Yeah, sure. He's future short. He's playing third now, but he can play shortstop easily, and he's a real bat, real hitter. And he's a gamer, too.
Right.
He's a real, he loves the game. There's some guys that are athletes, and there's certain guys that are baseball players.
Yeah.
Joey's a baseball player. He's like made for the game.
Right,
he played great. But it was, we came back, we made 7-3, but it was never really a game. And after the game was over, 7-3, now really there's no drama. I mean, one of us got the 1, and one of us has the 2. It's who's the seeding. You want to be this first seed, you get to choose your opponent. Okay. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Guys were saying we want to choose our opponent because maybe there's a guy, we find out somebody's hurt, we find out John Eliezer's in Israel, you know, and they're going to get a lesser player. Sometimes that comes to bite you in the behind, where these guys have motivation, and we've seen it plenty of times. So nor here nor there on the 1 or 2 seed. Game 2 was a great game. My team came out hot. We came out and scored 3 runs early. We were up 3-0.
Going into the
6th. First and second, 2 outs. Lee Zaccaria comes to the plate. I don't know what Lee did on the day. He got on base a few times.
He had a 4 for 7.
Oh, nice. Okay. High fly ball to left center field. And Albert Zolta, got to give him a big shout out. He had 1 or 2, maybe it was 1, tough week in the outfield. And after that, he's been phenomenal. He moved to left. He moved to left this week because of Elliott.
Right.
No, I haven't been left a lot anyway. But he tracked down the ball in left center field, made a sliding catch. And I could say catch here because the ball went inside his glove. Joe Greenberg, who was also on his horse running, last second saw them. I don't know if there was a miscommunication, if somebody didn't call it. Maybe they both didn't think they could get it. He kicked the ball out of his glove. The ball must have went in the air 20 feet.
Really?
Out of the glove, and it was not a catch because it wasn't in his glove long enough. But he literally kicked it. It looked dangerous. Looked like someone could get hurt. Thank God everybody was okay. And the ball landed. That ended up being a triple. Made it 3-2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was big.
That would have been the 3rd out.
Would have been the 3rd out, up 3-0 after 6, going into the 7th. Made it 3-2. We did strand Lee Zaccaria at 3rd. Mo Mallow made a tremendous catch in foul ground. Big, tall.
3rd out?
Yeah, the 3rd out. Jamie Dweck popped out deep behind 3rd, and Mo Mallow went a long way to catch it. There was controversy if he was out of play or not. I believe it was close, but I think it was close. I think when you see a guy make such a play,
you let it go.
And it was very close. The pole that we called for the game, no, it was the other umpire. It was a close play. He called it out very quickly. He said, no, that was the call. And there was really no argument. Both teams didn't really argue much.
Right.
That was it. 3-2. We're going into the 7th. We'd love to have insurance. 2nd and 3rd for Joe Greenberg. They walked him intentionally for yours truly. I came to the plate with bases loaded. A chance for what turns out very important insurance that we didn't get. On a 1-0 or 0-1 pitch, A.B. Cohen pitched me a nice fastball. Tried to go up the middle with it. I had a very weak line drive to Ruby Sack at short center to get out of the inning. We did have the lead, but a hit over there would have been really nice. I was not too happy I didn't come through. Shout out to Ruby Sack, by the way. Played a great short center field.
He's been playing very good.
Yeah, very, very good defensive game he played. My team did not challenge the infield on throwing the ball enough. I think Jamie Dweck the whole day maybe had 2 throws, ground balls. Joey Cohen maybe had 1 or 2. They caught a couple of line drives, which I'm never going to blame anybody pitting on a drive, but too many fly balls, which I give credit to A.B. Cohen. He got us lunging. We started getting the hang of it, hitting the ball hard, but again, we were up 3-0. Maybe we were complacent. The big play was top of the 7th, or bottom of the 7th. Sonny Shallum led off and hit a hard ground ball up the middle. I thought it was coming right at me. It really was coming right at me, and I thought I was going to pick it up and throw him out. Navy tried to make the play. I think it went off his foot.
Also,
ricocheted into left field. I tried to stop it. I couldn't get to it. I tried to bury it, and maybe I should have gloved it. And
you got a double out of it?
You got a double out of it, which was huge. Next play, Sammy Towell hit a ground ball the other way, which usually you would say is a no-no in that spot. Runner on second as a lefty, pull the ball, move the runner over.
I don't think it was by choice.
It could be. It could be Navy came in outside fastball. Could be. He had a hard ground ball that Mo Malley usually gobbles up. It was a tough play. The ground was hard, as we mentioned. Not a lot of rain. It went into him in left field. Sonny came up to score.
Oh, that would have been big because he's a slow runner.
Yeah. Could have held the runner, thrown him out at first. And then they would need a hit to bring home the run, not score with an out.
So he had run on first and third.
He scored. Sonny scored. Sonny's fast. Sammy stayed at first. We have 3 up, runner on first, nobody out. So we regroup. We're like, all right, let's go. Let's get out of it. We'll go to extra innings. Joey Cohen hit an opposite field double. I don't know how well he hit it, but he hit it down the right field line, like a loopy liner, like directly down the line. Second and third, nobody out. Winning run on third. We had a minor discussion. Do we walk the next guy? We said no. We played infield in. Eddie Malach hit me a ground ball. I faked the throw to first maybe 3 times, trying to get DK off third. Eddie Malach is not such fleet of foot, so I could have faked another time even. He really wasn't running. DK didn't bite. We threw him out at first. A.B. Cohen comes to the plate with a chance to clinch the #1 seed. He took a fastball into the ribs, into the stomach. Ouch, he went down. He's a trooper as well. Ruby Sacco was in his slot. They're like, "AB, you don't have to hit." He's like, "You get out of here, I'm hitting." He ended up hitting a hard ground ball. Infield was in between shortstop and third, between me and Mo. Ball goes through, run scores, game over. The Brooklyn Cyclones clinched the 1 seed. And turned NWO into the 2 seed. Again, we both have the bye. We're both going golfing next Sunday. And we'll find out who our opponent is.
Now, even though that was not really a big matchup as far as playoff implications, tempers were flaring in that game somewhat.
So our pitcher and catcher, the battery mates, people were telling me, I guess I was like zoned in doing my own thing at shortstop and talking to my field. But yeah, I did hear a couple of guys complaining, and I said, "What's going on? What's the problem?" One thing I can't stand about anybody in the league who does it. My own team, other teams, I hate the throwing of helmets and bats. That drives me crazy. Whether you get thrown out of a game or not.
Well, first of all, as far as safety reasons, throwing a bat is just like
it's bad. And the whole throwing the helmet, I get annoyed by it. I know you could get thrown out. I remember being in a game where a guy actually didn't even throw it in such anger, and they kicked him out of the game. And the guy, I think it was Jordy Ramon a few years ago.
He did throw it over the fence.
He threw it over the fence. I was there at the game.
It wasn't intent to hurt somebody. But,
it wasn't nasty, and he got thrown out. You know what? Rules are rules. And I don't like the throwing of the helmets either way from any team. It's something I just don't go for. It's just, I don't know, something that rubs me the wrong way, I guess. But there was, again, it was 95 degrees outside. You needed to drink a lot of liquid. And it could be it was the first time playing in that. People are getting a little agitated. Could be that wasn't what it was. Maybe we think we're going to see these guys down the road. Maybe, maybe not. Hey, maybe they'll pick us. These guys can pick us if they want. The Brooklyn Cyclones. I asked them if they would, and it just, it didn't look like they would have. But
I don't think you're going to be the #1 choice.
Okay, but again, they do have the choice. And when you have that choice, they can pick anybody they like underneath them. But now, the way it all shaked out, where it gets exciting now, so the 1 seed of the Brooklyn Cyclones, 2 seed is the NWO organization, and fake news turned out being the 3 seed.
Fake news did end up in the 3 seed. Now let's talk about the last matchup, which was Big Ball Brand versus ShamWow.
So ShamWow also playing.
Both teams, Chamois needed
playing for an outside chance of a bye.
Very.
They needed me to win 2, Fake News to lose 1, and they needed to sweep. None of it happened. But
right.
But they did go in playing hard, wanted to play.
2 very well played games, low-scoring games, and I don't have too much details of it.
So I know Ralph Sutton game 1, they lost 2-1.
Yeah.
Right, 2-1. Is that correct? He lost 2-1 or won 2-1. No, the first game was a 2-1 game.
I think they won the first game.
They won the first game.
Big Ball Brand. Yeah.
So, Big Ball Brand won the first game. So I know both Mikey and Ralph must have pitched well. And when you hear 2-1 score, you got to give credit to the. But again, both sides pitched well. Ralph Sutton definitely pitched well, and Mikey definitely pitched well, giving up 1 run. As I'm sure everybody saw, Player of the Week, Ruby. He's bigger and stronger. Both of them, both Chalu brothers, have some baseball acumen they can learn, I guess. You know, whether it's base running, technicality stuff, but they're big, strong guys.
Yeah, they're strong guys.
Who have crazy power.
You know, they play 24/7.
Yes.
12 months a year.
They love the game just as much as anybody in the league. So yeah, Ruby Chalu was, I think, taken in the 6th, 7th round this year. He's going to go up. His stock is going up.
He was a co-player of the week with who didn't get it?
Albert Roditi.
Albert Roditi.
Yeah, we didn't.
Huge game.
But yeah, that was a game with a lot of numbers in it. Yeah, so he was a big contributor.
So they split, and
so once the Big Ball Brand won, the second game really didn't mean much.
Right.
I heard there was thoughts of Moses getting on the mound. And it didn't end up happening. Ralph Sutton didn't get off the mound.
Moses lives for 95.
And yeah, this is usually where he loves to pitch. But Ralph Sutton stayed on the mound, and this was a little bit of an interesting game. They had a 1-0 lead.
Well, you know, Love lost between Tuna and the Yabadis, so
that's right. That could be why Tuna wants to stay on the mound. He lost the first game. He wants to win the second.
By the way, it's another playoff matchup.
It could be. Now, I do have to say, as much as we say no love lost, I heard from both sides. Everybody was really gentlemen. It was really beautiful. Everybody was classy. That's the right word to use. Everybody on both sides, and there was no hard feelings. In fact, it looked like almost like no fun. You know, like
very quick games and they're good. But that's what you're gonna get a lot of that in the playoffs. Low scoring.
Right, low scoring, good games. But what happened was, I think ShamWow had a 1-0 lead. They gave it up.
Right.
ShamWow had a 4-1 lead. They gave it up right away. So Big Ball Brand did fight back when they had to. The interesting thing I heard about the game was that the last inning was 5-all. Michael Solomon ended up coming to the plate with the bases loaded and less than 2 outs. There was nobody out or 1 out. And the Big Ball Brand team elected to do something very interesting. I love it. Sounded creative. I've seen it in the majors before.
What?
They said if Michael Solomon hits a ground ball anywhere hard, the game's going to be over.
Right.
They chose to play 2 outfielders and 6 infielders. And they made like a wall around the infield.
Oh, wow.
Playing in. So if Michael Solomon hits it hard, if there was 1 out there, turn 2, and otherwise.
I wonder if they left Jack Abadi in center field.
Yeah, so Jack Abadi manned left center by himself. And I forgot who the other outfielder was.
I could nail that.
Forget about it. He could probably take both.
Yeah.
Cover so much ground. But Michael Solomon, being the veteran that he is, on the 2nd or 3rd pitch of the at-bat, roped the shot down the left field line, which in the books goes down as a single, because once that run scores, the game was over.
Right.
And ShamWow came out with the split. And as you mentioned, this could be a playoff matchup, all pending on the shoulders and the choice of A.B. Saka's Fake News.
We're gonna hear from that in a second. We're actually
awaiting
our producers getting in touch with him now. So
okay, beautiful.
Before we go, actually, with our commercial break, a very special shout out to several members of the YMSL on the Hillel Heat varsity softball team, winning the championship.
A nail biter of a game
against YDE. And I'll tell you, I caught a few innings of this game, and there's a lot of prospects in the YMSL. The first one was a 3 Albert Sitt, Teddy Braha, and Ike Batesh on the current squad. And some future prospects.
Teddy Braha, Albert Sitt, and all 3 players in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All of them are in the playoffs this year.
And also, YDE had some great prospects.
Players. They do.
Great prospects.
They have Dweck boy, Assis is a pitcher.
Great pitcher.
Yeah, we do our homework on them because we know they're coming through the pipeline.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, even if you turn back one game, Hillel played Flatbush in the semifinals.
Right.
There was a couple of really good prospects there.
So,
a Beta and a Dweck.
Yeah, so if they come to the ranks, it's going to be
a lot of fun. But again, yes, shout out to all of them. Congratulations.
Coached by former YMSL players,
yes,
Jackie Eshko and Jackie Picciotto.
Correct. Two both great legendary players with big personalities, to say the least.
By the way, actually, Picciotto came to the field and pulled out his
players from
after the first game because
I heard
he
I heard he said a couple of things we can't repeat online.
Yeah, but which was fine because they were both
the field, or you're not playing for the next 10 years.
Both playoffs. They were in the playoffs.
Anyway. I love Jackie, but he's great, and he has a lot of passion. He does such a good job.
By the way, he never made his debut because Teddy Braha left. Was David Buka Cohen made his debut? He filled in.
Yes. Oh, that's great because they only had 8, so they allowed him.
Yeah, they let him. So I played the outfield, and gave
another
him a couple
future,
of shots.
another future
very,
ball
very
player.
high prospect.
That's great.
So right now, it's enough of the regular season. Let's start talking about
playoff baseball.
And let me ask you something, Max. Who do you think?
Who do I think Fake News is going to choose? So, it's funny. I have an interesting question I'm going to bring up to you right now. If they make the choice right now on air, it's in stone. Done.
Yeah.
That's correct, right?
Yes.
If we suddenly get some rain this week and they chose to pick Big Ball Brand for whatever reason that is, and we get a rain out, are they going to be sour grapes because John Eliezer is getting married in Israel and they say maybe we would have taken that team?
You can't change it.
There's no changing here.
No.
You want to keep that in the back of your mind. Look at the weather. Maybe
I'm sure they already looked at the forecast.
Okay, now I know the forecast did look bad, by the way, and it's looking better and better.
30, 40%.
It's looking better and better. It looks as though there's going to be games, but I'm just throwing it out there that if that's something you do want to look at and want to call your local meteorologist to be sure before you make a call, that's something interesting. Now, who would I pick? It's a tough call because you want to play history. The easy thing to say is I know it's a very different team, and I was actually looking at it today. Is Jeffrey Saka's Blue Jays have anybody on the team that he played with last year, aside from himself, on his World Series team? Is there anybody on that team that he played with? We know Ali, Michael Solomon, and Steven Shalhoub, and Charles Saka, Abraham Haber. I don't think there's one member. There's not one member that he's playing with, which is funny. Usually you end up playing with one guy last year. It works out that way. There's not one member of that team. But that being said, when you come to the field, you look at the mound first. You see Jeffrey on the mound.
Yeah.
This is very eerily similar to what he did last year. He backed his way. I don't want to say backed his way in.
No, he definitely did not back.
He didn't back his way in.
No.
But they played.
He needed help the last day.
He needed help. He got help. And he needed Fake News to come through. And wouldn't that be ironic? Fake News got him in, and Fake News could pick him.
Right.
So that's pretty interesting.
The crazy thing is that Jeffrey and and the rest of the lost my train of thought now. What was I talking about?
Happens all the time. The Blue Jays.
Yeah, so the Blue Jays, we always talk about it. The team that gets in the last day is very dangerous.
They're dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Well, they played 2 good games. We heard again, they didn't play a good team. We know the Beastie Boys were a good team. But
they played a team that really had nothing to play for.
And when you win like that, they feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
And that's something,
and confident.
That's something they can't say about themselves.
Great defense. And Malak played great. Maurice at first. So
the chirps around the league this year. The chirp around the league this year with this Blue Jay team was their defense was not playing well. We know they had a lot of names that could play a great field, but it just, for whatever reason, certain guys on certain weeks didn't have great games.
You still have big-time player ABJ. AB Dweck has been a big playoff performer.
Yes, he does. Daniel Towell.
And Bob,
Daniel Towell at third. We know he had a few weeks, but you put line in a big game. Defensively, he's a guy at third base. So, and John Eliezer.
Eliezer is, he's a gamer. I'll tell you one thing. I don't know, whatever matchups turn out to be, I love the 4 teams that are left because it's very high energy, intensity.
Fun 2 games.
It's going to be very.
I mean, we could go out of the hat, like a lot of people want to say. There's 3 teams you could pick. Is there one? That's the question here. Is there one team that AB Saka doesn't want to play? Is there one team you look at now out of the pool that he has a choice from and says, I don't want those
You know
guys?
what? You can always say, listen, you can come and excuse it. They, Big Ball Brand, they played week 1 without A.B. Saka, so he doesn't, he was.
He didn't see them.
Yeah, he didn't see
Yeah, but
them.
then again, you could say, we won a game without A.B. Saka.
Yeah.
Let's pick him with A.B. Saka.
But then again, they have some great young athletes.
Yeah, and guys coming into their own.
ShamWow, you have big
The
time,
veterans.
the best playoff performer in the history of YMCL
Morris.
and Mo Shama.
So we call him the
Veterans
legend.
with Jaime Saban. And then you have the dangerous Jeffrey Zaka and Maurice that just got in. So
Now, sometimes do you not want to play a Maurice team because you just don't want to deal with maybe vocal stuff? That could be something that weighs into. That could be.
We just got a text.
There we go.
Oh,
Do we have a choice?
speaking of he's going the safe route, I believe. What do you think that is?
He's going with the seeding.
Yes.
Okay, so which means.
So it's not going to cause any friction.
Yeah, well, that's the easy thing to say. Okay, you could say I pulled it out of the hat and take somebody else.
So now we have the matchups. It's Fake News versus the Blue Jays.
Wow. So Saka versus Saka. The last
A.B.
time.
Saka versus Jeffrey Saka.
The last time these guys faced each other in a postseason was the World Series when Jeffrey Saka on the Marlins beat A.B. Saka's Fountain of Youths. That I still have no idea how they got to the World Series. It's
that was a great Marlin team, by the way.
Yeah, the Marlin team was great, but A.B. Saka really carried that team in a major way. A couple of great players, but I still, till today.
Was that? It might have been Zach Ashkenazi's rookie year.
No, that was Griffin Rip.
Oh, Griffin Rip. So
Joey Eshko at short,
Oh.
and he had Eli Harari in center, nephew Eli Harari, who's retired very early to learn in Japan. But again, he had a young team, and they got to the World Series. Great defense, I'm sure, helped them get there, of course. But this is going to be a fun matchup.
You see, you have so that means it's Big Bull Brand versus ShamWow for the second consecutive.
Again, 2 weeks in a row. Could potentially be 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I love these matchups because this really about a great chemistry team in Fake News.
Yes, they got
and now great playoff performer in A.B. Saka, and also the Blue Jays veteran team. High energy, high vocals.
Jeffrey Saka last year went on a magic carpet ride in the playoffs, and I'm sure he's, looking back at his notes and remembering his routine and the foods that he ate and the stretching that he did and everything that he did. He's going back to that routine. Guarantee you that. And what's Maurice? By the way, Maurice didn't see the playoffs last year.
Right.
So he's back in the playoffs, and I know he didn't have the best of offensive years, but
he's still dangerous.
I was going to say, being a captain on a team that's dealing with a lot of stress and dealing with a lot of stuff and trying to win, it puts a toll on you. It could be now he has no pressure. He's in the playoffs. I got here. We found our way here. He could be dangerous. Maurice could be a bat now.
He could be very, very dangerous.
Here's the interesting thing. Looking back, the last time A.B. Saka won a World Series was against Maurice Haber's Royals, and look back at the numbers.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Jimmy Malach and Maurice in that World Series. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I can tell you that AB handled them well. They did not hit AB well.
Right.
I don't know if they're looking at video now. I don't know if AB's looking at
it.
The pitch to them. Was the Blue Jay AB's team? You said?
Yeah.
That won.
That was only 2 years ago.
Yeah, with David Franco and Maurice Shama, Jack Jamal's team that won.
He was on that team.
Leonard Skinner.
He was on that team?
He was the pitcher.
Wow.
A.B. Saka was taken late that year.
Oh, yes.
He was suspended the first 4 games of the season, so they got a steal in getting him, and God bless them, they went on to win. And that was a great series. They were up 2-0.
Oh, that was a game we played at Deal School where it must have been.
Yes, A.B. Cohen made a crazy throw. That was great.
That was a 9-10 in the game.
Yeah, ended up going to 5-game series. The Blue Jays that year, the Royals, I keep saying Blue Jays, all that blue stuff. The Royals ended up
similar team to the Blue Jays, by the way.
Yeah, well, he went for that picking. So you know what? Maybe they're looking for early.
Yeah.
They're not looking. They didn't pick AB, but I guess AB could be saying, "Look at that. It's a similar team I faced. AB Cohen and Jimmy and Maurice. Maybe he kept them at bay.
Right.
So maybe I could do it again."
But it's you remember the first round is 2 out of 3, so really anything can happen.
Right.
Maybe have a start up with one
better
inning,
right.
and all of a sudden you're down 1-0, and
boom,
you know,
pressure's on,
and it's really the pressure.
Right, that's a big thing. Best out of 3. The better team doesn't always
No,
win.
definitely does not happen.
You can have, like you said, one guy has a bad inning.
Yeah.
Not only the pitcher, you can have
defense.
a short center fielder has a bad inning and he costs the team 3 runs and you lose 3-1. You know, it's dangerous. It's like every pitch, it's a nail biter. Right. It's so much fun.
So listen, the Blue Jays obviously are going to be an underdog in the series. So how do you see it?
Wow, this is not going to be a sweep. Now, question: there's no 3 games in one day.
No.
Right. So if they split,
even though the Blue Jays are pushing.
They want 3 games in a day?
Yeah, because Elliott.
Oh, because of Johnny. No, but I know the league in general.
Day this week. We don't do that.
Father's Day in general.
And we don't have to do the first.
The only time we ever push 3 games in a day is a play-in game.
Yeah.
Or for a really
unless
extenuating,
right?
5 rainouts, and we have to make something happen. But we're in a good situation. For the most part, I think I could speak on your part on this. If they do split and both sides would be down for a Friday afternoon.
Oh man, since A.B. Cohen's not in the first round, it's a good possibility.
So that's something. And then, again, if they don't play on a Friday, I think then that team, the winner of that 3rd game, would have to play 3 in a day. Yeah. Because the team waiting, whether it's NWO or Brooklyn are coming off the bye, they're not going to come and just play 1. Right. They played the doubleheader, which happened last year. Yeah. And to let you know, they won 3 in a row. Jeffrey Sacker beat my team last year and then went on to win 2 in a row. Yeah, that was the noted cursing game, we call it. Okay. That goes down in the YMSL history books.
I don't know. This is a very, very tough one. I mean, you think it's going to be an overwhelming favorite, but this team could be coming in gelling at the right time. So
I see a split, and I see Game 3 going to A.B. Saka for one reason. I think A.B. Saka's lineup is deeper, and that's one of the benefits he had this year over many of the teams in the league. Such as like a Nemi Katz batting 7 or 8 in the lineup. We know he's not fleet of foot, but he could hit. Teddy Ashkenazi, as you keep mentioning, late in the lineup getting hits. And again,
let's not forget Ralph Matute,
Ralph Matute, he's a scrappy hitter.
He reminds me a lot of.
He's a young, and by the way, David Rishtey's on that team too.
He's like a young anywhere. Yeah. And the guy is not great at one position, but he put him anywhere. But he's a great hitter, great player.
Annoying at bat. It's a very good example.
Very, very tough. And Roditi coming into the zone.
Right. That's big, by the way. Roditi getting player of the week, meaning he hit the ball.
Oh, yeah. He's got tremendous power.
He's got a lot of power. So I see AB's team winning simply because of the back end. Now, again, you only see a team once a season.
Right.
I don't have the privilege of watching games. I'm playing. I only saw both these teams once. My team ended up winning 2 against the Blue Jays, who were very anemic. Their lineup. I mean, Nathan pitched great. Our defense played very well, but the back end of their lineup, when I faced them, seemed weak. Again, I forgot to mention, yet on the Players of the Week, Irving Shabbat was one of them as well. He actually hit my team well. He hit a big double, a triple. If he's coming in, he's a back end of the lineup guy. If he could continue hitting, that would help the Blue Jays tremendously. Right. Because the back end of their lineup does need to hit. They are missing, as I saw, David Simhorn
for game 1.
So I don't know if I think it's a loss at second base. Right. They may have to fix something up at second.
Might see some action over there.
Okay, that's nice.
Or maybe Irving Shabbat.
One of the two may see some time. So David suspended game 1 because of getting kicked out in game 2 last week. League rules. So I do see going to 3, and I see A.B. Saka winning in game 3. All close games. I don't see Jeffrey folding at all.
Actually, Maurice wants to buy his dinner because we picked him to lose 2 last week.
Oh, finally.
Yeah. So
I think I picked Maurice to win 2 every single week.
Right. And aside from losing, that's why he had a bad year. So we picked him to lose 2 and he won 2. So
now I'm picking him to lose the series, so maybe he's happy.
Yes.
But I am picking him to win 1 this week.
I'm picking fake news for a couple of reasons. I think AB's veteranship, and I think the defense is a little better.
Okay.
And a little deeper. And Zach is, Zach's having an outstanding
year. Graduated. He went from a star to a superstar this year. And Salim and Henry on that left side is locked down.
Right. So I'm picking them to win that. Now the other series.
You're picking it in a sweep?
I think it's going to be 2 games.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Bobby's doing the more daring one.
I think they're the better team, but I not to say they're going to be blowouts, but I just think I think they're more
You think they're more suited.
Yeah.
I think they have it. Okay.
Now,
Ibisaka's team might not be comfortable playing with 12. I think this whole season he has 9 or 10. I don't know. Maybe he's better off playing with 9, but let's see what happens. Good luck to both teams.
I'm to stay home again.
I hope it's a great series.
I think it's going to be great.
I'm excited to watch.
You know,
like I said, I have the honor to see the games for a change. So I'm going to watch, being a spectator.
Will not be void of energy and.
Should be a lot of very tense. I don't want to say tense. Exciting.
Right.
Everybody very excited. Anticipation. That's the right word. You know, pitch after pitch. Where when low-scoring games like this go down, it's exciting the whole way through.
Now the next matchup is ShamWow versus Big Bull Brand. Now I'm waiting confirmation from ShamWow because there's been some rumblings in the organization that a la Saban Solomon back in the day, Saban Sanity.
Okay.
They're thinking of changing the name of the organization.
Really?
Going into the playoffs to the Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks. Okay.
But because they feel they underachieved
this year.
ShamWow.
You know, it's funny.
I mean, Saban Sanity, I understand it was a bad team.
Saban Sanity was actually a good team. I was on that team. It was Sacred Hitless.
Before
it was supposed to be Scared Hitless.
Yeah.
And they changed it to Watch Out. No, it was Watch Out.
Oh, so Saban Sanity was
Saban Sanity was a semifinal team with Ali. I played on that team.
The picture that year?
Moses and Jack Bawabe. And
when the line broke his
exactly
1 in a trillion spot.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was crazy.
With Barker was on that team?
No, it was Jared Shulman.
No,
that was the bad team.
Oh,
it was Ali Marshall in center. I played short. Jared Shulman in left. Bub Jamal in right. Michael Solomon, of course. We had Morris Harari at third. Don't ask how I remember these things. I got a stupid memory for this stuff.
So you changed the team. Oh, it was Watch Out.
It was Watch Out. That was Scared Hitless.
Yeah.
It was a misprint.
Yeah, Sacred Hitless. We
changed it to Watch Out. Yeah.
So they actually had 3 days to watch it.
And I think they went open the whole year.
So I don't know. We're awaiting confirmation, but they seem extremely,
they want to change their name.
So I don't know.
I think ShamWow was like that thing that cleans. Maybe they changed the team to DD7.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But
so whatever the bottom line is, the Mo Shamahaimi team is playing against the Abadis and Big Bull.
This is a similar matchup to last year's semifinals. Now, Morris Shama ended up getting hurt.
Right.
He didn't play. I actually ended up.
He actually got a concussion?
He had a concussion last year. I ended up covering for.
Right.
That was a big mix. Me and Joe Chira came in for Ike Jamal and Morris Shama. And we ended up winning. Ralph Sutton beat a very similar crew in the playoffs last year. It was a 5-game series.
By the way, I believe it was game 1 or was it game 2? That was 18 innings.
Yeah, that was when I wasn't playing.
And a blistering hot 95-degree day in Meadowbrook.
Yeah, that's when there was a nice, tempers flare, which was understood, but it is what it is.
And that's to me, that's when Ralph had Sutton elevated.
That's when he hit his game. That's when he hit his stride.
He did not want to end that series.
Last year, he kept playing in that series, and they were behind 2-1. And they came back and they won game 3 and game 4. And it was game 4, right? They won in game 4, I believe. Yes. 2 good games. They won 2 good games. 2 very close games played on Fireman Field.
I remember Meadowbrook in the back.
Meadowbrook was the crazy 18-inning game. Then we played
backfield or the front, because I remember the backfield.
Truth, I wasn't there for it. I know it was.
I remember that.
I had my own game.
That's when the stuff happened.
That's
Dr. Batteries in the backfield.
Ralph. Yeah, that's some wild stuff. Everybody left there impressed. I think there's like rocks with names on it over there. But the rest of the playoff series that I was there for, that I played in, was on Fireman's Field, the Firehouse. I always forget if that's East or I think it's East.
Yeah.
2 good games. I think it was a 5-2 score and a 3-0 game.
That was games 4 and 5? Or?
Yeah, games 4 and 5. And what's it called? Ralph really put down that team. That was a team that had Jacobati on it, Mark Braha on it, Albert Gamal was there.
And Mikey, right?
And Mikey was the pitcher, who pitched great as well. And it was a great, tough series. I know the Abadis were a little bit, it was 2 different teams they played. Because they played a team with Morris Sham and Ike Jamal, and then it turned into Joe Chira and Max Sutton. And it was 2 separate series, but power to them. They still won. Ralph Sutton's team got themselves to the World Series. So this is not a rematch.
So really,
but a lot of the core players are there.
That new rule last year benefited the first and second round.
Yes, because it was both first and second rounders.
Otherwise, they were not going to get anybody.
That's correct. It was Morris Sham, Ike Jamal. There was a lot of exactly. Truth is general manager, Ilio, however you say it. Last year he was great. This year he overthought himself.
Right.
But yeah, they ended up getting to the World Series. But again, there's a lot of different players involved. This is going to be a very exciting. I think this series
this is definitely going the distance.
A little bit more tense than the other series. Don't get me wrong.
Well, you have some really intense personalities on both sides. Veterans and
guys that have played each other again recently, more recent than the other series. So it should be a lot of fun.
So what do you think of this one?
Wow. I can't see this not
Wow
going
or Sham Wow.
I don't know what the name is, but this is a very tough series to call. I'm calling it to go to 3.
Oh, without a doubt. I'd be shocked if anybody sweeps in this one.
Just for I'm not going to call it revenge, but I think BBB is going to win. I think BBB is going to win it in Game 3. In Game 3, I think all of them are going to be close. And also, one of the reasons I say it, the ShamWow team, I know you mentioned, Michael Solomon said they haven't really ever hit their stride.
I think they're averaging 3 runs a game, which is just unbelievable.
They have so many good
with all the power on the team.
Again, since their trade, what's their record? Now,
well, I think were they 5-1?
They were 5-1.
They were 5-1.
Now, is it the schedule that made their record get worse?
What did they have, 8-6? So they were 3-5. Right?
So they ended up a little below 500. So is it the trade that made them a little worse, or was it facing better opponents?
Yeah,
a mix of the two.
I think give credit to them. I think they realized their 5-1 start was a little
Cinderella.
Yeah, it was. They really understand the competition wasn't that good, and they knew they were getting tougher games ahead, and so they pulled the trigger. Whatever,
you know what? Anyway,
they got into the playoffs, and
that's what
Clark is still a big time player who could really.
Heard he got a big hit the other way, a line drive opposite.
By the way, I think he sits Mikey very well.
Yes, he did. He did strike out against Mikey this past week.
Oh yeah, swinging,
but it was swinging, but he did get a big hit going the other way as well. I heard in a big spot, opposite field line drive hit to put runners on base. I don't know if it was in that last inning or the inning before that, but a big hit. So but you're right. In history, he did hit Mikey a few times very well. When I played with Fark, I remember he had big days against him. But again, each guy has their.
We still have him. We still have Saban. Yeah. Not Ali.
You have Jaime,
Braca,
Morris himself.
Then
Erwin Cohen, we're forgetting. That's right.
So really, that team.
They have guys,
they have
but
a lot of guys.
They staggered their hitting too much this season. It's a short series.
They can put it all together very quickly.
If you put it together in one day, they'll get a sweep. But I think Mikey is good enough. Michael, not just good enough. Mikey has won in this league.
Yeah,
he has a championship. It's not an accident. He knows how to pitch. He's the ultimate competitor. You can say that.
Yeah,
sometimes
he's old school, by the way.
Oh boy. Sometimes he gets a little riled up, and we don't understand where it's coming from. But he's getting himself into the game, and I love watching him. So I think this is the game I'm going to be at.
Just do a little exercise, walk.
Yeah, back and forth. But I think this is.
I like definitely going 3, but I like ShamWow winning in Game 3.
Oh, so
only because I think the Mo steps up. And,
going for the classic veterans.
Yeah, and Tuna's gonna pitch not that I think it's gonna be like you said, great games, low scoring.
There's too much good defense on both sides for these games to be high. Mark Braha, not just in my week, I heard he's playing a great shortstop this season. And Harry Braha. Harry Braha's great.
But again, very young team in certain positions. Now in the playoff series,
maybe they get a little bit tight.
Exactly. Some of those hard grounders they were making.
Maybe that goes off a foot.
So,
something that Jaime picks up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because we've talked about Mo Shamley. He makes plays in the playoffs that are something scary.
That is true. He plays in left field.
Yeah.
The part of Morris Shamley's game that wows me the most, no pun intended here, is his arm.
Yeah.
Because he plays so deep and he still has a laser beam of a throw to first base that nobody else has.
Right.
There are a lot of great shortstops in the league. Nobody gets the ball to first the way he gets it to first.
And it doesn't look like he's even like.
It's unbelievable. It's like a rope.
Yeah.
It's like one of those straight. Yeah. Really incredible. I hear it. I'm calling BBB. I think they're gonna have a little pizzazz.
Right.
I think they're coming out with a little attitude, and I think they're gonna want it more. It's hard to say because everybody wants it, but I think they're gonna want it more. I know the Mo Shaman team, a lot of players on it that were there last year that beat him, didn't go all the way. I'm talking about Tuna in particular, and he's hungry for a championship. but I just see BBB wanting it more for some reason.
Whatever it is, it's going to be a great start to the postseason.
Can't wait.
And
again, weather
Cyclones and NWO are going to sit back and
yes,
enjoy
we're going to watch. And again, I'm sure
you're both good organizations do not want to rain out because really you
I
don't want to go 3 weeks in between games.
You don't want to rain out. I mean, if it happens, we have a hit around.
Yeah.
Both teams have in their facilities a couple of hit arounds. I think my team may be playing the Hillel varsity. Scrimmage.
Oh, good.
We might be playing them in a scrimmage. I'm going to be calling Jackie Picciotto about it.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, we want to just stay loose a little bit and play. But again, we don't want rainouts because we just like the ball rolling.
Right. No, I think that's what's been making the league so fun this year.
It keeps going. It's great.
Yeah.
So
big Father's Day opening.
Yes. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
We look to see everybody out there.
Is it an early start time or no?
Yeah, 8:45 again.
8:45, which has been the last couple of
weeks.
And
actually, Fake News has announced they're requesting the playground field. So it's
really
Fake News versus the Blue Jays on the playground. And
that was the field that AB played Jeffrey Saka last in that World Series too.
And it was the field that the Blue Jays got in from last week.
Wow, so that's an interesting choice, maybe.
And ShamWow / Mighty Ducks versus Big Bull Brand at
Fireman's Field East.
Fireman's Field East, the Flyers.
Can't
and there's
wait.
a lot of rumors going around that LeVar Ball is going to show up and
that'll be great with his new sneakers.
Yes, try to peddle some cleats.
Yeah, sure. I think whoever wins is going to get
20% off.
20%.
So it's $1,100.
Yeah, you still got to bounce the check. Forget about it. But
that should be exciting.
We know the Brooklyn Cyclones are going to have a lot of their scouts on both fields.
Yes,
being that they have choice. Again, one of the advantages of the choice, we don't, God forbid, never hope, God forbid, anybody ever gets injured, but that's one of the things they have there too.
Yeah.
If you see a guy pulls up a limp on a hamstring, that could lean into a choice of opponent.
Don't kid yourself here. Everybody knows Eliezer's schedule. I mean, they've been talking about it for 4 months. So
right.
if they ever do advance, it's going to be.
If that team wins, the rule, if people forget, you get 20 picks later.
Only because he's a first or second round player. So.
Which again, last year the team that had that happen picked up players and got all the way to the World Series.
Now, if they do advance, they might have the advantage. Now it only looks like 2 teams to pick from. So, you might have 4 teams to pick from. If you do get advanced, so you might have better players.
Oh, that's true. Right. 4
of
players. And you know what? You look at, and you can't take a player from a team that has a bye. Well, there's not.
No.
It doesn't work that way anyway because everybody's going to be playing.
Yeah.
And I think all other leagues are still playing too.
Right. No, but usually we take from the losing
from the teams that lost.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a shortstop. They could take.
No, you could maneuver. You could go after a bat.
Do they even have another shortstop that could play?
That's the big question because I was looking at it.
They don't really have.
And do you go grab a Ralph Hannon as a DH?
No, but who can you plug it short? Because you can't.
If you're a Blue Jays team. So that's a question.
There. You can't. No,
unless you put Malach at third and Daniel Tao at short.
Yeah, so you could have done that. I mean, that's what the Al Davis had with Eddie Richter. You could have done. It's not easy to have.
You don't want to hurt your defensive.
No, because you can't. Not with shortstop.
You know what? It depends. I got a couple of ideas here. If Big Bull Brand gets knocked out, I'd say Harry Braha would be a very high candidate.
He could play short.
He could play short. So if they get knocked out, if they win, Jaime Shama would probably be the highest guy on the list.
That's a no-brainer, I think.
He's a great shortstop. He's a championship-winning shortstop. So you're going to have your options.
They'll get somebody. It's not
so I don't
know. But that should be the least concern.
Correct.
If they advance, they'll worry about that later.
They want to advance. And again, they might not. And that's another thing that could happen here. One team could split and the other team could sweep.
Right.
And then we just have to wait. Unless
these Friday games are key.
That could be great. But again, the Brooklyn Cyclones, they maybe don't have to wait for that third game if they already know their opponent.
Right.
And they want to pick it.
That's
their choice. They could choose that.
Nobody ever likes to do that. They always like to wait.
Like to wait to see if the pitcher is hurt or something happens. I don't blame them, but whatever. That's it. Can't wait. This is going to be.
It's going to be exciting.
That's it. The second season begins.
Yes. 2017 regular season has come to an end, and what a season it was. And I'm sure the postseason is not going to be any different.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Always is fun. Can't wait.
We look to see you back here next week. Thank you.
See you
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.